Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy Chris B. Daniels, and once again, you are on ShowNTalk. Tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about a TV episode, a show that I used to watch back in the late 90s with my siblings. Every Friday night, we used to gather around the TV to watch this show because it's one of the best shows I ever seen. I don't know if y'all heard of it. I never heard many people talking about it, and I'm kind of surprised because this was a popular show from what I understand back in the day. That show is Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. So this show had two different hosts. The first host was James Brolin from season one. I think he only did season one, and then Jonathan Frakes took over from season two and on. You know what I'm saying? Now, for those who don't know, Jonathan Frakes, he was in Star Trek: The Next Generation. He played William Riker. So, that's a little Easter egg or a little fun fact for you. But anyway, this show to me was like it's something special. You know what I mean? Because watching it back in the day, you'll get a little freaked out because of the stories. Um, it's the way the show works is five different stories, and at the end of the show, they tell you which stories were fact and which were fiction. So I want to give you an example of one story that kind of stuck out to me to this day, and it turned out to be fact. So it's this little kid, right? He's being chased home from school every day from bullies, and his brother was one of them. And so they were picking on him because they thought he believed the monster in the closet trope and all of that, and he did. You know what I'm saying? So he kept trying to tell his brother, that was one of the ones again messing with him, that there was something in his closet. And so one day, they chased him home from school and he ran in the house and came back out with a bat. And so their sister, which, is older than both of them, was telling the older brother, leave him alone, mom, he already suffering enough and mom's gonna get you or whatever, whatever. But they continue to harass him anyway. So they all go into his room behind him. And so his brother, the younger brother, was telling his older brother, you know what I'm saying? Because his older brother kept mocking him about the closet or whatever, kept teasing him. And so the younger brother was like, well, if you think there's nothing in the closet, why don't you go in there yourself? So, excuse me, just getting over a cold, but the brother goes into the closet, right? And at first he's messing around because you can hear him through the closet door. And the next thing you know, he starts banging on the closet door, screaming like something was attacking him. And so the banging stopped. And then moms, you know what I'm saying, their moms walked into the room and she's wondering what was going on. And so the younger brother was telling her that, you know, brother was in the closet because the moms knew that, her older son was one of the ones that was harassing him. And so she opens the closet door, to get him out, but he was nowhere in sight. Like nowhere. He just disappeared. And so the moms called the cops and all that because they thought, he was a runaway. They dug through the closet, couldn't find no hidden passageways and nothing. You know what I'm saying? The boy just straight up disappeared. And so the younger brother was trying to tell them that there was something in the closet. And so this was one of the stories right here that turned out to be fact. I was just like, wow. When I first heard it, I was scratching my head like, yo, that's crazy. But telling y'all, if you haven't seen the show, you gotta watch it. It premiered in 1997. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Because like I said, we used to gather around the TV every Friday night and be entertained by this show. So I want to discuss another story, give you an example of another story, So there was this guy. He was supposed to be a player or whatever, right? Talking to all kinds of different women. And then he met his neighbor because he had just moved into this neighborhood. And then the lady from across the street came over to introduce herself. And so he winds up talking to her, building a relationship with her. And, things are going well. It seems like he changed until one day where he was in his room, which I don't even know why he just didn't wait till she left if he was going to do what he did. So he was on the phone with another lady, and his girlfriend was out front, the lady from across the street, listening to the conversation. And she didn't realize, no, he didn't realize that she was sitting that close to his room, so, to where she can hear everything. So by the time he got off the phone, he turned around and she's standing there, and then she ran out the house crying and all that. And so the next day, he was looking for her, and then the guy that was cutting the grass across the street, the house across the street, he told the dude, the new neighbor or whatever, that, there's nobody by the lady's name, he was looking for that lived there. And so he kind of thought that was confusing, you know what I'm saying? Like he saw her go across the street every time she left. So he looks over and it's like this church right there, a couple houses down from that house. And he seen her run inside, running to the church, seemingly disappearing. So when he follows her inside like the little garden area or the back area, and there was this tombstone there. And then that was the lady's tombstone. You know what I'm saying? So she was born in 1924 and died in 1949. So it turned out that the lady he got with was a ghost, a spirit, basically. You know what I'm saying? She was one of those spirits that were hurt, and I guess she was trying to give a guy another shot. I, what I'm saying, didn't know what would have happened if they would have gotten further. You know what I'm saying? And that's something to think about for me. But, she's basically, I guess, went back to resting in peace or whatever, because the guy that, this guy turned out to be the wrong one as well. So that was pretty much another story. And that one was actually fiction, I believe. If I can remember right, that was fiction. But yeah, like I said, man, this show is entertaining, man. Like, if you get scared easily, you might not want to watch it, even though it doesn't really have any like horror elements to it like that. But it's a pretty good show. Um, you can actually watch it on YouTube now. You know what I'm saying? Um, oh man. Oh, and there's one more. There's one more I want to talk about. One more. So before I close this video out, I want to talk about this one. So it was this kid, right? He was in the summer camp, and you had these two boys harassing him. And so, um, one day he was asleep. I'm just gonna cut, to the ending, near the ending, but he was sleeping. And so, well, he was in his tent, and then the two boys that was harassing him were, walking around the field or whatever, you know what I'm saying, by themselves. And then out of nowhere from the woods, this wolf came out of nowhere and it spotted them. And so it started growling and barking at them. And, you know what I'm saying, they stood around and got scared. Then that boy that they was harassing came out of nowhere with a bag of cookies. Started throwing cookies at the wolf and feeding them and all that, right? And so after that, he told the boys that was messing with him to run. Well, walk away slowly. Because they tried to run and the wolf would try, to chase them or whatever, but they ran off anyway. So by the time they got back to the campsite or whatever, they walked inside the tent. They seen that the boy was in the bed and he woke up. And so they was wondering how did he get back there before they did. And the boy he didn't remember anything. He was sleeping. And the counselor told them the same thing. He was there the whole time. And so he had felt something under the covers and he pulled out a bag of cookies. And then the boys recognized that that was the same bag of cookies that he had with him. So this is a story of possible astral projection. And I believe this story was, I think the story was fact. But what I want to do for you guys is do like different segments of the show. You know what I'm saying? Like different episodes. We could talk about the different episodes. So for the next few videos, I just want to focus on this one show because I really do want to bring light to this show because I feel like this show deserves views. This is one of the best shows I've ever seen, to be honest with you. And, you know, for my generation, a lot of us will say the 90s were better anyway. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that with every generation. With Gen Z right now, you know, you got the next generation coming up behind them, and Gen Z will say, well, our generation was better. It's just like that in general. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the show with you guys. So like I said, the next few videos, I'm just going to talk about different stories from this show. So stay tuned for that. All right. And if you're watching this on YouTube, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. And I am out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
The feeling is mutual. Come in, take a seat, share your thoughts with each, and preach it when you speak, so we can share kinetic energy throughout the brainwaves. Keep us balanced out and all on the same thing.